This is the North End. This is the North End.
What's going on, Premier League fans? Another week and another exciting fixture list coming up. Now, fantasy football is fast becoming one of the most exciting parts of the weekend, but it is always incredibly difficult. Now, I gave you a number of great suggestions last week. Would be what I had said if I had. I tried and I failed, and Aubameyang was someone I suggested. Look where that got me. This week there's a number of exciting fixtures with some leaky defence and some very, very promising looking strike forces. So let's go through them. To start, let's go with our defence. Now, there are two particular games I'm looking at. Number one is Brighton's game. Very, very interesting game. You've got Brighton looking very dangerous right now, and there's two great defensive options that I've been looking at. Number one, I said him last week, I'm going to say him again. It is Shane Duffy. He's priced at 4.3 million. Again, 90 minutes week in, week out. Another clean sheet last week. Brighton now flying in the table. I think currently fourth. Doing very well, looking very solid, and a great option. 4.2 million for a 90-minute guaranteed defender who's registering clean sheets. That's a real bargain. Now, another one is actually another Brighton player, and one that we were all big fans of here at the North End last year, Tariq. He played 45 minutes in the Carabao Cup game at the start of the week, and he looked very good. Looked like the young and the enthusiastic Tariq that had apparently been linked with Real Madrid last year. Now, Tariq is priced at 4.4 million. Now, it's a bit of a risky one because we don't know if he's going to start. Now, obviously, we've been told by his manager that it is likely that he's going to play. They've also mentioned that he's definitely going to be in the squad, so we're not sure how that's going to pan out. But again, at 4.4 million, we saw how dangerous he was going forward. We can see how Brighton love to get forward on that counter-attack and how dangerous they can be. And if you are looking for some potential bargains, maybe having him as a rotation player, if he doesn't play, if someone else that might come off the bench, it's a great option. Finally, another little stranger one here, Godfrey from Everton. Everton have a very delicious looking fixture against Norwich. Norwich have conceded the most goals in the Premier League with 14 conceded, which is truly, truly terrible. And more importantly than that, they haven't won a single game. 0 points, bottom of the league, and I think we're all in agreement that they are going down. Now, Everton haven't been at the best. They're without, of course, the incredible Richarlison and DCL in Dominic Calvert-Lewin. However, they are also without Seamus Coleman, their integral right back. So they're going to have to look to their options. And Godfrey, playing against the Villa, didn't have the greatest of times, but against the Norwich defence, Norwich midfield and strike force that aren't really too challenging, he represents good value at 4.8 million. Now, going into the midfield, we have a couple of great options. Straight away, number one, obviously Gray over at Watford. 2 goals in his last appearance there last week. Fantastic performer, and I think most of us agree he's generally leaps and bounds above most of the guys around him. Dennis, obviously, up front looks very good as well. He's very quick, he loves getting the ball in. If he's not finishing himself, he's obviously a great risk and a great threat for assists. Although, right now, he hasn't registered a single one. But with 3 goals to his name so far, 2 last week, he is a great option, and he's registering at just, I've got here, 6.1 million. So again, a real bargain for you there. Now, back to Everton. I'm not a huge Everton fan, I promise. I'm a Villa boy. But I've been a huge fan of Gray since, as I think so many other people have been as well. Now, Gray has been a fantastic signing. He cost 1.7 million on our release clause. This was Birmingham's biggest protege not too long ago. He's been fantastic, super, super, super good for Everton. They're obviously without DCL and Richarlison, so they're going to need to push a lot of these attacking midfielders forward. Gray loves to get forward, he's great on the ball, a great option for you there. Final option for midfield, I'm suggesting Benrahma back to West Ham, another great player. One that we wanted at Villa, unfortunately went to the other claret and blue, and what a season he's been having along with the rest of the team. He looks really great, he's slotted very, very easily into that midfield, and with the likes of Fornals and that supporting him, he's allowed that freedom to roam the pitch and really do what he does best, the trickery. Now, obviously, Antonio is back, we're going to come to that in a minute, but they love to link up, they look really nice together, and you've got to say that West Ham are probably going to do the damage here. Leeds are without a number of key players. They do concede a lot anyways, and they're missing vital players in the team. So Rafinha is also another one that's potentially out injured. Ours is Bamford. So again, I think a great option. You know, it's a little bit hit and miss, but I think he's guaranteed to start. I wouldn't be surprised if he picks up an assist or 2. 6.5 million, it's a great, great affordable option. Now, the strike force, some really interesting options this week. No high value that I'm suggesting, but I think I'm going to keep it a little lower. So just 2 options for you. Number 1, Mikel Antonio. Again, it has to be. Antonio is valued at 7.9 million. He had a slight fall of 0.1 million from last week because obviously he missed a week through that suspension. But he is on fire. 4 games, 4 goals, 4 assists. The strike force across the Premier League are struggling to keep up with him. And he looks like he's enjoying his football. And that's the best thing around him. Like, West Ham look like a very dangerous team going forward. But it all goes through the big man up there who muscles, who works, who busts his ass, and you know, I think it's beautiful to see a player such as himself who has been around for a number of years and really hitting that stride at an older age as well. But 7.9 million, he's a must. If you haven't got to get him in the squad, get him in, because they have easy fixtures, or relatively easy fixtures, coming up the next couple of weeks as well. And finally, a little bit of a wild card again, back to Brighton. I'm trying not to be too Brighton heavy, but again, a pretty likeable fixture they have this week against Crystal Palace. Neil Maupay, Villa target before, back and forth, said he didn't want us. Well, we didn't need him. Had a rough year last year, nothing too great, a couple of arguments with managers and obviously a lot of the coaching staff, but now seems to be hitting the stride that they thought he could hit. 3 goals in his last 5 games. He looks very interesting going forward, and a fairly decent game for Brighton. And of course, we know how good they're looking with Trossard, who just missed out on my selection sheet because I don't think he's done quite enough just yet there and providing the assist and moving forward. Basuma, another phenomenal player in that team, but a bit of a 50-50, bit of a knee injury. But I would still be surprised if Maupay doesn't pick up at least a goal, or at least sniffs around and looks, probably not an assist, he's more of that kind of last man, he wants that goal. But again, not a bad option, and he's registering at just 6.5 million. So another great option there. One you could potentially consider would be Armstrong over at Southampton. Again, nothing too much of a difficult game, but I would struggle as to how they're going to play. And I'm not sure if he's really done a whole lot to be worthy of a suggestion at this point. But there you go. Let us know what you think. If there's anything you'd want more advice with, if you want to go more defensive, or you want more midfield, or you just want me to shut up, more than happy to do that. Probably not going to do it, but you can definitely ask. Guys, thanks so much. Remember, make sure you follow us and like, share, all that good stuff. And come over and watch us over on our new YouTube channel. The link will be down here. Thanks.